Empire State of Surveillance, Ethiopia's Digital Illusion under Abiy Ahmed. 1. Empire State of Surveillance. Based on the May 9, 2025 interview of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed on Tech Talk with Solomon. On May 9, 2025, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed stood before the nation and the world on Tech Talk with Solomon, declaring that Ethiopia was marching confidently into the future of digital innovation, artificial intelligence, and national transformation. He portrayed a nation on the brink of technological renaissance, one where robots assist households, youth command coding languages, and digital equity is rising. But beneath the surface of these words lies an ominous truth: Ethiopia is not building a digital democracy. It is reinforcing the same centralized empire, cloaked now in fiber optics, AI institutes, surveillance, and biometric control. This video presents the psychological terrain of this transformation. It is a mirror to the Prosperity Party's deceptive strategy, a strategy that does not liberate, but calculates, controls, and suppresses under the guise of progress. 2. The Digital Talk, a scripted utopia. Prime Minister Abiy's narrative sounded flawless. He referenced digital progress, new technological institutions, expanding mobile money, AI in education, and empowered youth. But this story is not new. Ethiopia's empire has always used narrative as a weapon, first through conquest, then through religious orthodoxy, and now through digital simulation. The Prime Minister is not building a digital republic. He is digitizing the empire and replacing spiritual domination with data domination, one citizen profile at a time. 3. INSA, the digital weapon of the state. Behind this transformation is INSA, the Information Network Security Administration. It is the most powerful, unregulated apparatus in the Ethiopian Empire State. INSA holds encryption keys to the nation's data. INSA monitors all internet communications. INSA operates telecom policy beneath civilian scrutiny. INSA's allegiance is not to the people, but to the regime. This is not governance. This is cyber dominance. A system is being built where your data, identity, and political expression are no longer private. They are analyzed, archived, and deployed against you if you resist. This is the core of the Prosperity Party's power strategy. They are not preparing youth for a free digital world, they are preparing machines and software to predict, preempt, and police them. The Prime Minister's statement that robots will become as common as mobile phones in the next decade was not a forecast, it was a psychological tactic. 4. He is selling a dream to distract from the system being built. What he did not say, that electricity access remains inconsistent. That rural areas remain disconnected. That surveillance systems are expanding faster than education access. Technology without freedom is not advancement. It is automation of control. Every air center opened under INSA oversight is not for public empowerment, it is for regime entrenchment. 5. Youth and digital training, false empowerment. The Prosperity Party speaks of youth empowerment through coding and innovation. But this is a narrative designed to neutralize and absorb youth energy, not support it. The youth of Ethiopia are not free to express, critique, or resist without being watched. Digital training is being politicized. Dissenting youth are being flagged through online activity. Internet shutdowns are used to prevent communication and organization. What Abiy calls empowerment is in reality containment. These programs are not for building a sovereign generation, they are building a compliant one. 6. Digital elections, programming obedience. The 2026 elections are being digitally engineered, not just administered. Biometric IDs are being deployed to track and filter voters. Algorithms will control information flow and shape public opinion. Social media will be monitored to suppress opposition narratives. Internet shutdowns will be used to disable resistance during critical moments. Elections in the digital empire are not about choice. They are about compliance. The regime will know who you are, what you post, where you go, and how you vote. What Abiy presented as democratic progress is in fact a digital apparatus for authoritarian control. 7. Empire 2.0, the continuation of centralized domination. Ethiopia's past was built on conquest. Its present is being built on digital conquest. This is not the rise of a new nation, it is the reconfiguration of the same empire, under new tools. Yesterday's imperial priests are today's data scientists. Yesterday's conquests with swords are today's network blackouts. Yesterday's palace spies are today's cybersecurity agents. Digital Ethiopia is not an evolution of society. It is the next phase of Ethiopia's imperial ideology, refined, upgraded, and now hidden behind algorithms. 8. Summary. The Prosperity Party's narrative paints a picture of national empowerment through artificial intelligence, technological innovation, and digital inclusion. However, the underlying reality reveals a starkly different psychological and political strategy. What is publicly promoted as AI and tech empowerment is in fact the expansion of a sophisticated surveillance apparatus. The supposed training of youth in coding and robotics is accompanied by algorithmic monitoring, censorship, and behavioral profiling. Telecom liberalization is portrayed as a market reform, but in practice, it reinforces centralized control through INSA's monopolistic authority over encryption and infrastructure. The open digital market is an illusion. It operates under strict command, filtered content, and targeted propaganda. Even the introduction of robotics and educational tools serves not to liberate minds, but to prepare a generation for submission to digitally enforced obedience. What is framed as democratic transformation is nothing more than the engineering of public compliance, programming a population not for participation, but for pacification. 9. Final message: resist the digital illusion. What Abiy Ahmed and the Prosperity Party presented on Tech Talk with Solomon was not a vision, it was psychological warfare. It was a broadcast of digital imperialism, veiled in smiles and statistics. The truth is that no people are free under a regime that tracks their speech, predicts their choices, controls their networks, shuts down their internet. This is not innovation, it is subjugation. Until INSA is dismantled or placed under civilian oversight. Until biometric systems are disconnected from political control. Until opposition voices are free to engage without fear of digital retaliation. There will be no digital Ethiopia. There will only be a digital prison. 10. Conclusion. The Prosperity Party's obsession with centralization has moved from the battlefield to the server room. Ethiopia is not walking toward freedom. It is being marched toward a future where the empire survives, not through war, but through surveillance. This is not a warning. It's the whole system on fire. And every citizen must now decide, will you be programmed, or will you resist? Stay informed, subscribe for deeper insights, share this with your network, and help spread clarity where spin dominates. Informed citizens are the foundation of real change.